Hi guys, my name is Karthik and I am from executeautomation.com and welcome to our first video of our executeautomation in this year 2020. And today we are going to talk about the automation testing trends of this year 2020. And before starting this video, I would really wish you all a very prosperous and happy new year, and also make this whole year as the most enjoyable yet most exciting year than ever before, because this life is meant for us to enjoy each and every moment. So let's make use of this. Alright, so let's get started. So before starting this video, I would really like to talk about this. Let's all try to save tree, water and energy to save our motherly planet Earth. I have been talking about this in a couple of my video series in YouTube, like Cucumber with Selenium and also implementing Selenium with Java and stuff. These video series actually talks about this slide a lot as the first slide in the video. I've been talking about that, but of course even I have to follow this as much as possible. I'm kind of conscious of following it, but not sometime that I can really follow that. But this is something that I have took as a resolution this year to try reduce the usage of electricity, water and papers as much as possible to support our motherly planet Earth. We have been hearing this global warming everywhere, like the temperature is kind of increasing everywhere, and many places are now with scarcity of water, or some other places have like more water and it's kind of submerging. Last week I went to Queenstown of the southern island of New Zealand, and I came to know that almost like 500 glaciers are completely vanished due to the climate change, which is kind of very crazy. As you can see, within just 5 years the whole glacier was completely vanished, and right now there is nothing left there, just with stones and stuff, which is very insane, because these glaciers took almost like thousands of years for the formation, and within 5 years we have destroyed it due to this climate change. And this is not going to happen just in New Zealand, but it is happening across the globe. And for instance, in India, as you can see, so this is the place which I was living in Chennai called Perumbakam, where you can see that the whole land in 2002 was completely green, and now it completely turned into just buildings. So this is one place that we can see that the whole agricultural land has been taken down into just buildings. So this is going to happen everywhere, and that's the reason that you can see that in India the climate change is very drastic. Water scarcity and the power of nature is being shown in terms of storms and stuff, which is going to affect everywhere, and we are going to suffer with a lot of water bodies problem, which is the craziest thing happening because of the climate change. We cannot control the whole things, but we can reduce the usage of at least the electricity, paper, and reduce the consumption of the usage as much as possible, so that we can actually not just live happily with our own generation, but also let the next generation more happily to live like how we lived as a privilege in this whole year. I really think that this is something which is very important to take a resolution of this year 2020 to reduce the consumption as much as possible. I have took that personally. I would really recommend you to just have a thought about that. I'm not really telling that to take a resolution of this, but this is really a good thought to think about. Well, as that said, let's jump into our actual topic of the automation testing trend of 2020. So the first topic is the rise of .NET and cross-platform support. This is really going to affect a lot in our automation department. We'll be talking about that in a detail in a couple of minutes. And the next one is the microservice architecture, the buzzword everyone is talking about. We have been hearing this microservice architecture a lot in past couple of years, and now in last year this microservice architecture is kind of getting very popular to move all the monolith app into microservice. We'll be talking about that in a couple of minutes, but this is going to be shaking the whole market in this year as well. The next one is the DevOps are not just for ops anymore. We have been hearing DevOps a lot, and now this is going to be transforming in this year as well. The next one is the JS-based framework is going to evolve or improve this year as well, something like Cypress and Puppeteer. And the last one is Selenium 4 may be a complete game changer. So we have been seeing Selenium 4 is improving a lot in past couple of months. This is exactly going to happen this year as well. The momentum is going to continue, and we will see the rise of Selenium 4 in this year as well. And there are some miscellaneous trends as well. As you can see, the artificial intelligence, machine learning are going to improve this year as well. But again, the testing department in this area is not going to change a lot because these are just like an ecosystems, guys. And the next one is like Raspberry Pi, that IoT testing, and the VR and AR testing are just a different ecosystem, but the testing is going to be remaining the same thing. Like you'll be testing the API, or maybe you'll be testing a little bit on the UI side, but there is no new tool came into the market to really test these trends. So I have not really talked about these miscellaneous trend as of now. Maybe in the mid of this year there will be some new change coming into the technology, at least in the testing department, so we'll be talking about that. But as of now, I'm really not going to be talking about them, but just that we're going to be talking about the first top 5 trends of year 2020. So let's talk about all these top 5 testing trends of 2020 in much greater detail. The first one is the rise of .NET and the cross-platform support. So we have been seeing that Microsoft is contributing so much to the open source community, and C# is not just a Microsoft shop anymore. So it has open sourced the .NET and C#, and now with .NET Core 3.1 and ever expanding open source software support, C# is more powerful than any other programming languages available on the market right now. As you can see now that C# has now support of running in Windows, Mac and Linux operating system, also in IoT devices, which is pretty cool. And that's the reason that we could see that C# adaptation has been increased a lot. And also in 2018, Microsoft announced support of running the web applications in C# language, which is nothing but the Blazor support. So now with Blazor based single page application, .NET is even more powerful to run C# code on browser natively via WebAssembly. So this WebAssembly is there for a long time, but now WebAssembly is also going to natively support running C# programming language directly on the browser, which is pretty cool. So this is going to change the whole game, which means we don't really need to rely on running the C# just for the server side. Now we can replace the Vue.js, Angular and React client-side scripting directly to C# programming language as well, which is going to be really a game changer. We can also use C# on the top of the Blazor, but C# is going to be the programming language of choice for the client-side development as well. So C# is going to be client-side, and the server is also going to be C#. So you can see that most of these companies are going to adapt C# programming languages. So now what is this for the testing then? Well, more applications will be developed in the C# and .NET ecosystems, and many developers will move towards them. And also you can see that once C# has been moving over there for the application development, we can also leverage the power of Selenium C# for testing the application, like web application, and for the UI based or the mobile applications on the Windows, and for the mobile we can use WinApp driver or Coded UI, which is going to be deprecating, but still we can use that. And also we can use Appium with C# for testing the mobile based application for the testing of the mobile devices, which is going to be pretty cool. So we also know that the powerful rich editor environment available in the C# with Visual Studio, we can leverage the power of that as well. So that's the reason I have put the rise of C# as the first point or the top testing trend of year 2020. The next one is the microservice architecture. So microservice architecture is an approach to building an server application as a set of small services. That means a microservice architecture is mainly oriented to the backend, although the approach is also being used for the front end. Each service runs on its own process and communicates with other processes using protocols such as HTTPS, WebSockets, or AMOP. So we have been hearing about these microservices, and we might have worked on the microservices already, that our big application might have been splitted into many different services like APIs, and also we have seen that the microservices can be leveraged with the deployment of application using Docker containers or Kubernetes, or we can also deploy our application in a services like Azure or Google services or maybe AWS services very quickly. So these microservice architectures are going to really be a game changer for the application development, and that's exactly going to be boiling down for the testing as well. So if you ask me what is it for the testing, well, this is the answer. More testing of the application is going to come in the distributed environment, which means API testing is going to increase the focus. We have already discussed about these tools like Rest Assured and Rest Sharp a lot, which is going to be for the C# and Java programming language. We can use or leverage the power of these programming language tools within our application testing for microservices much easier in this year as well. So this year the focus is going to increase more towards the API testing using microservices. So we are going to leverage the power of the Docker or Kubernetes, and we're going to increase the testing effort not just in a monolith app but also in a distributed environment like microservices. So that's why this stands on the second in the top testing trend. The third one is DevOps for everyone. So if you ask what is this DevOps, basically is DevOps is a set of practices that combines software development and information technology operations, which aims to shorten the system development lifecycle and provide continuous delivery with high software quality. So you can see that the software quality is actually being embedded within the DevOps itself, which means DevOps is not just going to be an alien for the quality engineer. It is going to be an intrinsic part of the quality engineer who are going to be testing the application. So we as a quality engineer are not going to be testing the end of the application cycle, which is nothing but after deploying the application. Rather, we'll be testing the application in each and every moment of the application lifecycle, which means we are going to be testing the application in the development side and also while the application is being deployed, and then how to consume the application and then how to test the consumed application in a much better fashion. And this is what this DevOps is all about. And this is not going to be an alien for quality engineer anymore. From this year, I could see that this is going to increase a lot. For example, Azure DevOps tool, which is very interesting, and we have already talked about Azure DevOps a lot in some of my courses like Azure DevOps 2019, which I released last year, which has a lot of different tool set to deploy the application in Kubernetes or Docker or even Helm reporting much easier, and we can test the application in each and every components much easier using these different softwares and toolings, which is really good. So that's exactly is going to happen in this whole year as well. Well, as that said, we are now in the fourth top testing trend of our automation testing, which is the JS-based framework. So this year, the JS-based testing framework is going to still improve. The momentum is going to continue. The Vue.js or the Angular and the React application are still going to be developed in this year whole. Maybe the Blazor is still in preview. The preview release is going to happen only on Jan of this year. Well, while that comes, not every company is going to adapt very quickly. Maybe there is going to be a new technology change going to happen. Who knows? Well, even if that happens, this JS-based framework is still going to be there, and these automation testing tools like Cypress and Puppeteer are still going to continue their momentum. Hopefully, we will see some cross-browser testing support from Cypress or even from Puppeteer supporting the Edge browser or something like that. If that happens, we could see that this is going to be a game changer for automation testing of these JS-based framework, which is going to be really cool. I'm not really going to talk about these Cypress or Puppeteer a lot because I have already spoke about them a lot in many of my courses, which is released in Udemy as well as in YouTube, so you can go ahead and watch them. Well, yes, this is going to be the testing trend of the year 2020 for the JS-based framework. The last one is going to be Selenium. Selenium 4, which got released last year on April and still in alpha stage, we can see that there are so many new features coming in, and we have been discussing about Selenium 4's new feature a lot, and also the support of Selenium 4 with DevOps tools and network interceptions and all those stuff which is available in Cypress and Puppeteer is also coming directly to Selenium with the whole broad ecosystem supporting multiple different browsers. And this is going to be a game changer, as I said, because if this happens, these Cypress and Puppeteer's growth may intrinsically going to be affecting a lot. The reason being the major popularity of Puppeteer and Cypress is the dev tool support because it runs on the sandbox of the Chrome itself. And that's exactly going to happen with Selenium. If this happens, Selenium is going to be a game changer completely to replace these tools already, which is very popular. So that's how Selenium is going to be improving. I'm really not going to be talking about a lot about Selenium 4 because we have already discussed about that a lot. Maybe in this year we'll be seeing more growth coming in from the Selenium 4 department. If that happens, we'll be talking about that a lot in our upcoming days of this EA channel. So that's the Selenium 4 for us. So that's it, guys. These are the top testing trends of year 2020, and we will be seeing a lot of growth happening in this whole year. And I could see that the trend of the software development has increased a lot right now. It has completely moved from the monolith app to the service-based app running on the cloud or many different services. If this trend is going to continue, you could see that the whole application testing is going to be drastically changing, and API is going to play a key role for testing those applications. So that's it, guys. These are the top testing trends of year 2020. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this top testing trend? So if you think that I have missed something in testing trends, just let me know. What should I really add? Maybe we can create a testing trend part 2 of this video, and we talk about that, which is going to be very, very helpful, not just for me and also for the community who are really watching this video. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and enjoy this whole year as like never before. Happy New Year.